Sitaram, dear viewers, and welcome to SWAHA Viewpoint on ITV. We begin this evening's presentation as is customary. We have opening prayer, which will be done by Pundit Adesh, and then he will ask relevant questions as we go deeper into our program. So, Panditji, welcome and opening prayer.
Let's concentrate. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshayamamritat. Om Namah Shivaya. Boliye Sri Umapati Mahadev ki Jai. Boliye Sri Swaha Mata ki Jai.
All right, so Pandit, what topics you have for us to discuss?
So Guruji, let me say welcome back, of course. Just to refresh your memory, on the last programs we did, we touched upon the modifications to the after-death ceremonies. The last discussion we had, we were discussing the shaving ceremony, and you made brief mention to there was a time in the past where you made a husband perform the after-death ceremonies for the wife.
Well, actually, it was a death ceremony.
The death ceremony,
Yeah.
Understood. So the question I have for you, Guruji, well, is twofold. One, who is really responsible for doing these rites? So some people don't have sons and so on. But also, in these special circumstances, who can be allowed to perform these after-death rituals?
Right. So before I go into the questions themselves about answers, I just like to ask Pandit Adesh, are you getting any sort of response to the program and our discussions?
Yeah, so a lot of positives. People, the feedback I received, they appreciate the explanations that you give. In fact, a lot of them understand a lot of the reasons that you put forward. I even got some feedback from some devotees in New York where they appreciate the shortening of the duration of the ceremony. Because you would imagine flying from New York to come here to perform after death ceremonies, they don't have that much time. So they really do appreciate it. And in fact, many devotees ask me to send them the programs online for them to have a look because they want to learn more. So hence some of these questions.
So the response more or less has been positive. No negative comments so far? You must have negatives.
There were a few. Such comments were, we're going against what's written in Guru Puran, right? And again, we touched on some of that in the last program where, everyone has the right to read the book literally, but as you explained in depth, these scriptures are meant to be interpreted.
Now, for those who are objecting, criticizing, and so on, I want them to understand that we are doing what we are supposed to do. We are doing the Antishti karma, we are doing the Srar karma, we are doing everything, except that the methodology has undergone some variation based upon time, place, and circumstances. So nobody in the right sense could say that we're not doing the right things. We do the Sraddha as usual, what we are accustomed doing, the shaving ceremony, etc. We have made some modifications, yes. But the intent behind these practices, the intent is maintained. So that must be clear, and I can't be more lucid than that. Whoever wants to think otherwise, we can't help that.
Understood.
All right. Now, we live in a very strange society. We know from before that they say if somebody dies, the responsibility is on the son or the sons to perform the final rites. Now, I've been trying to clarify certain things as we go along. This whole objective of getting 5 people to perform the ceremony, I've been saying that that is not necessary. Sometimes you have to have five persons. If a man doesn't have 5 sons, you have to beg this one, beg that one. You have to get different people to do it. I am saying that there is one main person, and that person has a responsibility to do it. So this thing about 5 is an obsession. I have asked you a question: if a man has 8 sons and he passes away, are we going to say only 5 of you supposed to do the part, knock out 3? What are we going to do?
It was the duty of the 8 of them to do it, no?
So the point I'm making is this obsession with numbers. right? One person is supposed to do it. Others could join in, there is not a problem. All right. Now, traditionally, you find the sons do it because, in my mind, they say the sons carry on the family lineage. And in a more superficial level, the sons get the house,
Right.
whatever. So he's supposed to do all these things. I pay no mind to this stupidity. Right? Even Garu Puran tells you, if you don't have a son, there's a protocol though. You know, even the wife could do it. If you can't get anybody in the village to do it, whatever. You see, that protocol is based upon, again, circumstances that existed in India, in the village. So somebody dies, you have the neighbors, you have the village people, you try to get somebody to do it. Now if you notice how the paradigm has shifted so badly, hardly ever do we have people in, that we can get so, okay, well, could you fill in to do this? First you begin, they're scared. Why must I come and do something? Because for some family who is dead, why must I do that? The fear is here. Now that will bring me to the point where I made the husband do it one time. The wife died and she wanted her rites to be done in Hinduism. I won't give details because, people could follow it up and find out who it is. And I don't want to do that.
Right.
Right. But it was my first godchild and second godchild. Husband was the first one, wife was the second one. That was since I was about 19 years old, they were initiated. The girl got sick and so on. Circumstances didn't develop. She died. And let's put it simply. Nobody wanted to do the rites. Nobody. No family. There were people within the family who could have done it. But because of strange relationships, nobody wanted to do it. Nobody, neighbors, nobody. And she wanted to be cremated in the Hindu rites. What should I do? I asked his husband, are you going to do it? He said, yes, we'll do it. Yes, you come do it. Now I know people tend to attack us. From the time they see something, they're not accustomed to this attack. But when I ask a question to get clarification, they condemn it outright. Again, I call that stupidity. All right. So sometimes I take in front before in front take me out of the scene. So while I was doing the rites, I had to explain. I said, many of you will question that when the wife was alive, she was doing the husband arti. Now that she is dead, the husband is doing her arti. What kind of wrong sighting is this? But then I went on to explain the death ceremony itself, what we do there. Now, you have been to funerals before, you would see that what they do. They offer water in the body, chandan, perfume, flowers, mala, arti, etc. Now those offerings are similar to what we do in puja. So many people condemn Hindus for worshipping the dead. And I say, no, we don't worship the dead. The offerings are done, the mantras are different in puja and in funeral because the intent is different. So let's talk with relevance to the funeral. Everybody, as we have said, is made up of panchatattva, the 5 major elements: ether, air, fire, water, and earth. Correct? So the body is made up through the panchikaran process, quintuplication process. We have 25 tattvas in the body. We won't go into all that detail. Now, when we are going to perform the cremation of his body, we could very easily cremate by throwing gas on the body, put in tire and burn the body. Don't do that. We go through these processes. So before I explain the reason for this, most people would have done puja before. And when we do the final havan, the last little bit of samagri that is left, you wrap it up in a leaf and you stand up and you do what is called purnahuti, the final offering to complete puja. Now, whether we know it or not, whether we like it or not, life is supposed to be a puja. Now, this is where we have problems again. So people are going to think puja is administered by a biri. Even Pundits think so. We're going to sit by a biri and put flowers here and do this and do that. Puja is made of 2 syllables, pa and ja. Pa, pap nashan. Ja, janma bichhed. Any actions that burns away sins and frees us from bondage is puja. So if you follow what I'm saying here, Hindus do pujas ritualistically. But if you analyze in a sense, many don't really do puja. Because I put up 15 chand and I beg for the whole world. What does that do? Not bind me? Whereas puja, pap nashan, janma bichhed. The puja is supposed to free me from bondage. So this is a contradiction. But if you understand the context in which I'm putting it, everybody does puja or could do puja. Hindu, Muslim, Christian, atheist. Everybody could do puja, though not ritualistically. Now, whether we do puja or not, at the end of it, at the end of our life, the last lump of clay that is left, which is the human body, the samagri that is left, you have to offer it into the fire. That is the purna huti, the complete life's puja. Clear? So this must be understood. So when we take the body to the cremation site, we put ghee, gugul, sugar, black tail, etc. All the ingredients of havan. So in other words, I'm establishing cremation is not just cremation, it is a completion of life's puja. Purnahuti. Come back to the Anteshi Sanskar. When I offer water, fire, arti, chandan, etc., what I am doing, we realize that in a puja, many people want to make sure everything is clean. Say, wash the flowers, wash the rice. I told a fellow one time, I gave him the rice and sugar, he went and he washed the sugar too. So he wants to wash everything. The whole idea is purity. So when we perform these rituals on the body, it is to purify the tattvas within the body. So in other words, that lump of clay, so to speak, molded in a certain fashion, we are purifying it to take it to the cremation site to perform the final offering. If you understand what I have just said, you will be able to conclude, anybody could do that. It doesn't have to be a son, though there's a protocol. If you follow what I'm saying there, if my daughter could do it, a wife could do it. As a matter of fact, all influence talking about Garupuran, see the Pundit could do it too. So let the Pundit go and do it.
Well, I was curious to ask you about the protocol because I was told by a Pundit that, again, obsession with male figures, that even the Vyas could, the Pundit.
Exactly. So I want people to tell the Pundit, nobody could do it, you come and do it. Let put the Pundit on the pressure who insists in Garupuran. Let him insist. You see? So what I am saying is that we could say whatever we want. The objective is to dispose of the body with integrity. Purify that last lump of clay, Purnahuti. And if you understand what you're doing here, anybody could do it. This is my stance on it. So the husband could have done it. But he's purifying. It's not a matter of worshipping the body. You see the difference. The intent behind the actions are different. It's different. The intent is different.
Understood. But if you don't mind, Guruji, if I were to probe a little bit, you mentioned the protocol. So under what sort of time, place, and circumstance are we allowed to adapt, so to speak, where there's no male figure
You
present?
have many circumstances like that. Like in this case, there was a son, he wouldn't do it. There was a daughter, she wouldn't do it. There was a grandson, he wouldn't do it. What circumstances again you want? If you have the people around that nobody wants you, what are you going to do? And I am of the opinion that rather than beg anybody who is willing to do it. Because you see, I have a serious problem with people just doing things to humor me. Doing that because I had to do it, but me really believe in it. I don't like that. Believe in what you do or don't do it. Right? So if there is somebody who could perform the rites, who believe in what they are doing, I have no problems with that. This is why I say if my daughter could do it. And the question many people ask is that if the daughter does it, right, would she shave her head for the shaving? And I discussed the last program, I think, what shaving is all about.
Correct.
You have to shave. Why you have to shave? So you see all these blind rituals, but where the problem lies. You see? Not understanding. And I told this story last time. Thakandya Das dead, man shave head, the donkey dead, all them donkey won't shave the head. Blind following, nobody asking questions. and you remain in that so-called comfort zone and think you're smart, you're bright, and the book says so. I'm not saying the book can say so. The book says so, but you have to interpret what the book says, and we explain that.
Yes.
When you talk about the wife burning herself. You can't take things literally. You understand?
Understood.
So where I'm concerned, Pundit, I mean, we can't change the world overnight. But I am convinced in my bones, even my brain, everything, that what I'm saying here stands on solid ground. Not everybody will believe in me, and I do expect that to happen. But your reason for not believing is questionable now. Yeah? What? I'm giving you reasons for what we are doing. And coming to all this thing about after death ceremony, I keep saying, as I explained the last time, that is not for the soul. That is for us. I grieve. I perform purificatory rites. I perform all this rad and so on, whatever. That's for me, not for the soul.
Understood, Guruji. Now, as we're speaking about the after death ceremony, funeral and so on, there's a particular ritual when a married woman dies, where the husband is brought and he have to, rub off the sindoor, or somebody has to remove the sindoor. I'm not sure who does it, but I wanted to ask you about that particular ritual and what is the validity of it, or where did it originate from?
Now, all these things, right, created by society. Now, then we are good in it. That, when the woman, she puts on the sindoor, the husband puts it the day she gets married, and then if says whatever happens, God forbid he dies, she can't touch sindoor again. That's what they say. They stretch it to the extent. All right? So you have that where the whole thing is about sindoor. Right? And somebody, husband die, well then you can't get married again, etc. Now, let me just put you a little circumstance. They say when the husband dies, right? So they take the husband's hand, put the sindoor in the girl's head, his wife's head, and then they take coals and so on and rub it off, right? So they say from that day onwards, she can't wear sindoor again, right? Now, my thinking, I think laterally, vertically also, right? Now, who say that you can't put sindoor again? Did the man say that? Why it can't be a situation where the man said, okay, I put sindoor for you, at the end I put it back, I take it off, you can go and put it again if you want. Why can't be that? I've taken it back. Now once you have it in your head, you can't put it again. Follow? If you take it off, what is it to say that he's not saying, go and put it if you want to? Let somebody deny that.
Right.
Now, you have the reverse of it, where you say, when the wife dies, the husband has to put the sindoor, and she has to go with the sindoor. When you ask the reason for that, she has to be his wife for 7 lives. And practical circumstance, and I don't make up these things. I explained this to one of my goddaughters. So her husband died. And then what was the response? I put it like this, food as she put it. She said, Guruji, that nastiness, may want him in this life. You think I want him for 7 life?
Right. Okay.
All these practices have to put the women under control, bind them. This has been happening in the Hindu society from way back in the past. Yet everything that takes place is not to empower women, it's to imprison them. So if you come to the same point, they will tell you, like say a wedding for instance, somebody whose husband died, a widow, she can't purchase. She can't purchase. She blights. And when I'm in my bad mood, you know what I will say? Right? You get 5 women who put sindoor from here to here. Some have 5 husbands, but they do arati. What is better? They want to live in the right life, or they want to put on sindoor?
You want to live in the right life.
Society just tamasha, dikhavat, to show, to create impression. And I do fall for stupidity. Coming to the same thing again, right? Say a husband dies, children small, mother on her own, brought up all the children, daughters and so on. When time to give them away in marriage, they say the mother can't do it because she can't wear sindoor. You have to ask an uncle and an aunt and whoever. And I have had situation where uncle, auntie, you have to buy so much sari for me, you have to do this, your uncle say, I'll give me that. before I come and do that. And you know what I've said? Not a bit of crap. Sorry. You brought up your child, when child of marriageable age, you give her away. Sindur or no sindur. Now, again, people say, they may say, I'm getting mad. Kanyadan. They call it Kanyadan. What is Kanyadan? Kanya is a maiden, a child under the age of puberty. So in that case, when you see doing that, mother and father sit together. What we do today is Kanyadan, Putridan. I still very, very firmly I made a representation to lift the marriage age to 18. You know, Kanya, let the girls go to school, become qualified, employable, employed, become independent. Don't depend on any man to mind them, so to speak. Now, when it comes to this kind of point, it's a daughter you're giving away. Wait, tell me about Kanyadan. We still use the word Kanya, but the concept is different. You see? So I have made mother alone give away the child, her daughter. And daughter was very, very happy because she didn't want any aunt to come and give her away. Think about the emotional side of this. I have made a father whose wife died. Father gave away his daughter. And they're still living happy.
Right.
If that determines how people live, or a couple plain people life here, why? You see, so all these things, society creating this problem. Now, many years ago, one of my goddaughters died. I was very young that time. I was maybe early 20s. She died. Sorry, the husband died. She was married and the husband died. And after some time, she wanted to get married again. And I went along with what was being said. Not to say I don't know these things, I grew up with it. Husband died, you can't get married again to put sindur. I told him that I can't do it. Another young man, I can't do that. I can't do that, not wearing. And she got another pundit, and I will call his name. It can't be verified, but I won't lie on national television like this. The late Pandit Lakshmi Prasad from Pune. He did the wedding. He put sindur on everything. That girl is still being she has grandchildren right now. So you had senior pundits in the past who had better sense than these who follow blindly and feel they know.
Right.
You see? So you have to break certain attitudes. It's not easy, but there's not to say I'm creating this, there's precedent for this.
Understood, Guruji.
So that's another topic again, where you see when somebody in Hinduism, all this nonsense about you had put sindur and you can't put sindur, and if you didn't do this, I'm tired.
Yeah, well, I understand. But coming back to the after that ceremony, Guruji.
Yes.
Just to clear up some of the misconceptions for the general public. Sometimes the officiating vyas will ask young men like myself to take out the janeu and put it on the next side when you're doing after that ceremonies. Is there any basis for that?
We have to ask them why they're doing that. As far as I'm concerned, all that much in Puran too, no? Notice the amount of kind of rituals you make you do. No explanation. I have my janeu remains as my janeu all the time. We're going to turn janeu wrong side for no foolishness, no? Okay? And as a matter of fact, how many people wear janeu right now? Even the Brahmins, many have been initiated and given janeu. And they don't wear janeu. So we come and show off to put on janeu when somebody dead? Huh? Those things have absolutely no meaning to me.
Understood.
None. And I say that with an open heart. Yeah, none. It doesn't worry me the slightest bit. Those are just blind rituals to hold people under grip and control.
Understood. Understood, Guruji. So, again, another ritual that we normally see in after death ceremonies is Pinda offerings.
Yeah.
Now, from the funeral day, when we look at the traditional format, so to speak, sometimes we see the Shrota every evening offering a Pinda, or sometimes every morning, every day offering a Pinda. Sometimes you offer Pinda by Four Corner Road. Different reasons are given. Are there any basis for these?
As far as I'm concerned, now as I mentioned, this over 59 years I've been a Pundit. I lived for my father. My guru was around. My Aja came from India. Before this parampara, my Dada was up. We didn't come overnight, you know. Like some people appear overnight and feel they know so much. We have this lineage from way back in the past coming down. We have traced it to India. Still have Pundits in India from our lineage. What I am saying here, from my Aja days, my Guru, Papa, we have never, ever offered Pinda every single day. From the death to the Shivan. Never do it. And I have asked why some people do it. One Pundit tell me, say, Lord Krishna come back with his soul to eat the Pinda. So Lord Krishna starving by eating Pinda. And his soul has eaten Pinda. All this is ready to hold people in grip on it. I keep saying that. This exploitation. Right? Nobody could convince me. And how many funerals I have done? Check how many. From since when? I stopped checking. Right? What is he? People frightened if you don't do something. What's going to happen? What is going to happen? What is to happen will happen no matter what you do. Not putting a Pinda wouldn't cause that. And all this you putting Pinda for a wood. I want to see they do a cremation in Canada and stop by 4 corner wood and put Pinda. Let me see what happen now. I went to a funeral one time. Sorry to say, I wasn't doing it. The Pundit made them put Pinda by the toilet. They have out latrine. They put one by latrine. One put under the bridge. What happened to these fellas? Huh? Are you mad? And then this is in Hinduism. By the time you put in Pinda, a Christian finished cremate and he gone home. Muslim finished cremate and he gone home. Barbarian he gone home. Life goes on. You should put in Pinda all about. And I've been telling people, just sometimes every month they make you offer Pinda. Because they say new moon days for the Pitra. When somebody now dies, the person is not a Pitra, it's a Pret. So what you offering Pinda every new moon for? Or at any point in time I ask, why are you offering Pinda for? The Pinda doesn't help anything, but we keep saying that. Right? So you see all these things to keep people under control. So now when somebody dies, you put in Pinda every month. So you have to buy a new car. I tell you, if you do Pinda every month, then you can't buy a new car. So you're doing Pinda Karam. You can't fix your house because you're doing Pinda Karam. This is why I tell them, none of this nonsense, no? Live the life that your parents expect you to live, maintain the principles, but life goes on. Right? So you're doing Pinda, right? Your life goes on. You're doing Pitra Karma, meaning maintaining the inner meaning of Pitra Karma, maintaining the principles and practices on a daily basis. Life goes on. Life goes on. Not because somebody dead, everybody dead. And that is in Hinduism. And I made mention of this already. I'm not condemning it. Everything long time was in the same home. The extended family live in the same home. So when somebody died in the same home, this was why they wouldn't go wedding. Because it is infringing upon people's sensitivity in the same house. People don't look at this, understand the changes in circumstances. You follow? So this is why I say I'm fed up of this stupidity. People talking and pontificating like they really know. All some in ignorance. And keeping people in grip. This is why I keep saying, with the passing of time, we're going to lose more and more people. Yes, Pundit.
Understood, Guruji. Well, Guruji, let me say thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule for having this discussion with me for the benefit of, again, myself and the listening public. And I hope we could continue this going forward.
We would. And all I can say, sometimes I may sound very caustic, very critical, right? All I'm asking people is to open your mind. None of us foolish. Open your mind and try to understand. Don't live in a time warp, right? And remember, you have to make adjustments, time, place, and circumstances. Scriptures tell us that. Why you want to do the same nonsense you did 160 years ago when circumstances have changed? You maintain the same principle, but the methodology could undergo change. So I'm suggesting this, and I'm saying that it is necessary, very necessary, because of today's life. So I hope, listeners, viewers, that you understand these points. And I don't expect you to follow blindly what I'm saying, but whatever comments and so on, whatever questions, feel free. As Adesh is getting this feedback, let us know. We would appreciate it very, very much. But address whatever concerns you may have. Until next time, Sitaram, blessings to all.